Really pleased that we've managed to sort out some of the technical problems with Marie. So what we're going to do now is welcome Marie. I've actually got her slides, and I believe she is joining from a different device where her microphone is able to work. So Marie, are you there? Yes.
Hi, Adrian. Yeah, I'm here. Thanks
Well
to Daniel.
No, good. Thank you very much for joining us. So again, you've joined us in the past at the Real event and helped explain entrepreneurship and mindfulness and making sure people have the right mindset for creativity and so forth. So I'm really pleased that you're able to join us online today and share some of those thoughts again.
Thanks, Adrian. So yes, it's the 4th year of being involved in the Malvern Festival of Innovation. So it's actually really exciting that it's virtual this year. So that's a real coup. So fantastic. So basically, I'm here today to talk about how innovation comes out of creativity. But before I do, I want to give you a bit of background into my own career so that it gives you an idea of what qualifies me to talk about that sort of topic. So just to give you a bit of background on my journey, I was left school, I did my GCSEs, didn't do fantastically well, but then I sort of launched straight into a career in work. So I worked in hospitality, I worked in the care industry, and then I moved on to a career that I've actually thought I fitted really well, which was in social housing. And it was really fantastic because I was head of community support and care. So I was really able to get out into the communities. We did a number of projects with schools. And so it was a really valuable career. However, at the time, I didn't take responsibility for my own health and well-being. And unfortunately, my mental health deteriorated. So at the end of 2013, I left my corporate role and had a period where I had poor mental health. And so what happened as a result of that is I hit a crossroads, decided, right, how am I going to move forward in a positive way? And where was my purpose? And so my purpose, I found, was in having a well-being business to try and help prevent the same thing happening to others. So I started a business which was originally Advanced Events, knowing that I wanted to do something around well-being and give back, but I wasn't exactly sure how. So I had 12 months of trying different business models, and then actually learning that I didn't have enough skills and expertise to run my own startup. So I then became a mature student at the University of Worcester, and I did an entrepreneurial degree. And this covered a huge amount of different topics, which gave me the skills gaps, filled my skills gaps that I needed to create the business that I've got now, which is Advance Your Wellbeing. So what we do at Advance Your Wellbeing, we provide interpersonal skills training to help people achieve their full potential. So we range from things like poor mental health and how you can thrive, and through to interpersonal skills like resilience, emotional intelligence, and that sort of thing. So thanks to my time at the University of Worcester, my business came out of that. So I'm a big advocate for all things health and well-being, and hence why we work within the education and the social housing sector. The housing sector because of my career background, and education because I really enjoyed the work that we did within the community in my career while I was head of service. So that's my background. So we're going to launch into now the next section of my slides where I'm looking at mindset. So what I would say is that wherever you go in life, there will always be change. And so how you have your mindset will dictate your success. So you can have a positive mindset or you can have a negative mindset. And there's also whether you're open-minded or closed-minded. And what I would suggest is that always look at things in a positive mindset. So think about what are the wins, what are the successes, and those are the things that will propel you forward, especially in a business startup. Because as you've heard in the first year, my business went through lots of iteration, lots of change. And so having that positive mindset was enough to carry me through and made me more determined to make my business a success. So on to the next slide, where I'm saying positivity breeds positivity. So when you're running a business, you may run a business on your own as an entrepreneur, but you will need to work with other people, other stakeholders, other partners, because you will need other people's expertise. So although you may have an entrepreneurial degree like myself, you may have a lot of skills that you've learned, but there will always be additional support that you need from stakeholders. So positivity breeds positivity. When you're working with others, always look at finding solutions. So yeah, it's just about having that positive mindset. And the next thing I'd say is on the next slide, we look at change and facing your fears. If you want to start up your own business, then I would say, fantastic, do it. It's so rewarding. But alternatively, if you want to go and work at some of the other local businesses like Malvern Panalytical, there are fantastic companies out there. But one thing I can guarantee that you'll face, whether it's your own business or in your career, you will always have change. And that's great. You should welcome change, because if you have that positive mindset to change, then you will learn lots of new skills. Now, I've put there about you facing your fears. Everybody sticks within their comfort zone. And I think in order for you to really achieve your full potential, you need to actually move more into your stretch zones. So face your fears and push into those comfort zones is something I would suggest you do. And then on to the next slide, I'd say celebrate the small wins. So for me, it could be that I've got 20 tasks to do in a day, but wait, 15% of them don't go exactly to plan. Hence, like this morning when we was trying to log on, that's okay, it happens. But how can you find a solution or a way around it to make a positive change? And that's what we've managed to do today. So for me, I'm celebrating the win that I've been able to come and speak to you today. So that's fantastic. So then I want to say about learn and grow, which is on my next slide. So to take you back to what we're talking about today, and that's about innovation comes out of creativity, is about the impact that this will have on your well-being. So if you're creative and you'll look at different solutions, then you're more likely to feel positive, you're more likely to feel confident, and you're more likely to be able to grow as a person. So for me, what I'd say, and the next slide, is it's all about celebrating success, coming up with new ideas that will then spring to give you more creativity and in turn innovation. And the amount of self-worth you'll feel from having that positive mindset will improve your well-being absolutely exponentially. So that's what I wanted to just say to you today. Thank you very much. And if anybody's got any questions, then I'm happy to take them. Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you very much, Marie. Let me just stop the sharing because for some reason all the questions got hidden when I did that. Thanks for the sort of motivational talk. I think what some of the things you've said, of course, apply to entrepreneurship and starting your own business in the future, but equally having that right mindset really can help at school. So obviously a lot of our audience today are at school, they're doing homework, they're having to deal with the pandemic, which has changed a lot of stuff. So, for the younger mind, any sort of hints and tips as they go through their school day and deal with their homework and their self-isolation and all the problems that we're facing, how they can stay positive about it all?
Yeah. Absolutely. I completely understand from a pupil's perspective. At this time, they may be having lots of worries and anxieties. What I'd say is always reach out and speak to somebody. So for me, when I had poor mental health, I approached a charity called Mind. Now, you're based in a school, so I'm sure there'll be somebody like a welfare officer or somebody within your school that you can go and speak to if you're having any anxieties or worries. And if you don't feel that you can do that, then speak to your parents, tell them about how you're feeling. There's a lot of real positive things that schools are doing at the moment around wellbeing and mental health support. And I know that there's a fantastic app within Worcestershire called Bestie, and that has a lot of resources on there for school children around mental health. So I'd look at that. And also I've got a YouTube channel which has got some animation videos. So if you don't want to actually speak and say to somebody now how you're feeling, have a look at little videos or go on the Bestie Worcestershire app and find some resources and get some help that way. Does that answer your question, Adrian?
Yeah, no, that's right. I think, communication and chatting to people is a really important thing. And the other thing, of course, about innovation and having those creative thoughts, you kind of need a clear mind, don't you? So in order to, find the solution, a lot of people say, I'm going to sleep on it. And that's partly come about because, a lot of people, when they sleep, they're a little bit more relaxed. That's the idea. And then the solution pops up. And so in the world of being creative and particularly at work, being innovative, finding solutions means you need to clear your mind. So that's going to help. But I also think innovation comes a little bit sort of from practice. In other words, the more you try and be creative, the better it becomes over time, a bit like a muscle. So, any hints or tips for students? They can be creative and innovative at school, can't they, with their schoolwork? So
Yeah.
how could they clear their mind to help solve their schoolwork problems?
Yeah. I think it's about taking time for yourself. So it might be that you're in the playground and pupils can do meditation. There's a lot of things about adults do meditation, but pupils can do meditation as well. So there are apps. There's one called Headspace. If you're allowed to use your phones, then that's a really good, just a meditation, just having some time to yourself in the playground. Or if you feel that you need time out, then you need to speak to a teacher. So, and the other thing is when you're being creative, like say, for example, in your art classes, or if you're drawing or doodling, it just gives you that bit of head time to sort of step out of all your homework and what your worries are. And it just gives you that time to sort of just have time for yourself and be more mindful of your own self-care. So I think when you're at school and you want to be in with the gang, you want to play with this mate and you want to make sure you're keeping them happy, but sometimes you have to prioritize your own self. And I think in a school environment, it's important. It's okay to go and have a sit and have a quiet time to yourself. And I think, perhaps pupils could be doing that a bit more.
And then you also, you took time out later in life, as it were, back at Worcester to do your degree to help you with your business. What sort of things did you learn at the degree at the university that has helped you really with the business? What sort of stuff did you come across?
Okay. Well, it was a 3-year degree and it was absolutely filled with learning. So I could talk about that for a long time. But for me, I think the main things was around marketing. So it's about building relationships because there's going to be lots of new businesses starting up. And so for me, it's about forging those relationships and building on those moving forward. Think about how you're going to market your business and what will make you stand out. So what's your unique selling point? And obviously what I learned was that it was about my backstory. So think about why you would like to set up a business. Where is your passions come from? Because yes, marketing is going to be huge. So you've got to think something that's going to make you stand out. You know, how are you going to get your content out there? We learnt a lot around leadership as well. So that if you want to grow your business, you need to be a better leader. And that's all about communication, your listening skills, and how you can empower others so that they can be creative as well. Yep. So those are the two main things I'd say.
No, exactly. Really interesting. Well, thank you very much. The sun has just come out here up on the hills. It's blinding me. It's just catching the window. So I can't see anything in front of me. But thank you ever so much, Marie, for joining us. I'm hoping that there'll be some more specific questions in the chat from those that are listening, and maybe also on the Facebook. So keep an eye out there in case anybody wants to ask you a little bit more about some of the stuff you do and how to keep their mind clear and keep their mind healthy. So Marie, thanks ever so much for coming along. See you again soon.
Thanks, Adrian. Thanks.